Hello class, let us study a new lesson, that is combustion and flame. In this lesson you will be studying about combustion, the types of combustion, about fire extinguisher, and we will be studying about flames also. You all know that we use different kinds of fuel for various purposes. It may be at home, or it may be in industries, or it may be for running automobiles also. Which are the fuels used in common? It may be cow dung, wood, coal, charcoal, petrol or diesel, or CNG, that is compressed natural gas. You are familiar with the burning of a candle. What is the difference between the burning of the candle and burning of fuel like coal? You know that candle burns with a flame, whereas coal does not. You will find many other materials burning without a flame. So, what is that process called? It is combustion. What do you mean by combustion? It is a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give off heat. That process is called as combustion. The substances that undergoes combustion is said to be combustible substances. It is also called fuel. A fuel may be solid, liquid or gas. Sometimes light is given off during combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. You all know that charcoal burns in air. We know that coal too burns in air, producing carbon dioxide, heat and light. So what is combustion now? It is a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give off heat. We all know about the combustible substances. What are combustible substances? All those things or the substances which allow combustion to take place are said to be combustible substances. It may be wood, paper or kerosene oil or the fuels, or it may be charcoal or matchstick. The other substances are said to be non-combustible substances. We have an activity to do to see the things necessary for the combustion to take place. Which are the things necessary for the combustion to take place? Let us do an activity. Here a table is there. On the table two bricks are kept. So with the support of the bricks, a glass chimney is inverted over a candle and the candle is burning. Here you must remember or note that there is gap between the table and the chimney. So air can enter the chimney and burning of candle takes place without any problem. The candle burns properly. In the second case here, the chimney is inverted over the candle, but it is kept directly on the table. So the air cannot enter inside the chimney. The candle burns for a few minutes and it puts off. The fire puts off. The flame goes off because there is no chances of air to enter the chimney. From this activity, we can infer that air is very much necessary for the burning process or for the combustion to take place. Air is one of the important component. You might have heard that when the clothes of a person catch fire, the person is covered with a blanket. Why is that? In order to extinguish fire. When the person is covered with the blanket, the air supply is cut off from fire. So the fire gets extinguished. You may have an experience of burning the papers. When you bring lighted matchstick near the paper, it catches fire easily. Can you follow the same procedure with the wood? No. It takes long time for the wood to catch fire. Either you have to use waste papers or you have to use kerosene oil for the wood to catch fire. Isn't it, children? So, experiences tell you that different substances catch fire at different temperatures. The lowest temperature at which a substance catch fire is called its ignition temperature. What is ignition temperature? The lowest temperature at which substances catches fire is called ignition temperature. Now you know that a matchstick does not catch fire on its own at room temperature. The matchstick starts burning when you rub it on the sides of the matchbox. That means it reaches its ignition temperature, then starts burning. We find that a combustible substance cannot catch fire or burn as long as its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. Have you ever seen the cooking oil catching fire when a frying pan is kept for a long on a burning stove? Kerosene oil and wood does not catch fire on their own at room temperature. But if kerosene oil is heated a little, it will catch fire. If the wood is heated a little, will it catch fire? No. It has to reach to its ignition temperature. It means that the ignition temperature of kerosene oil is lower than that of wood. So, we need to take special care to store kerosene oil. The substances which have very low ignition temperature can catch fire easily. So these substances are called as inflammable substances. Examples are alcohol, petrol, LPG, kerosene and so on. If at all a building, home or shops catches fire by accident, the fire brigade arrives and it pours water on the fire. You must know the telephone numbers of the fire service station. What they do? The fire brigade people pour water on the fire. The water cools the combustible material so that its temperature is brought below its ignition temperature. What may happen? It prevents the fire from spreading. Water vapors also surrounds the combustible material, helping in cutting off the supply of air. So, the fire is extinguished. Children, you must understand that there are three essential requirements for producing fire. It is fuel, air and heat. Fire can be controlled by removing one or more of these requirements. Which are they? Either fuel or air or heat. The job of a fire extinguisher is to cut off the supply of air or to bring down the temperature of the fuel, or he has to do both. The most common fire extinguisher is water, and it works very well when things like wood and paper are on fire. But if electrical equipment is on fire, then water may conduct electricity. So it may double the trouble. Water is also not suitable for fires involving oil and petrol. Do you know why? Because water sinks below the oil and oil keeps burning on the top. For fires involving electrical equipments and inflammable materials like petrol, carbon dioxide is the best fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen and covers the fire like a blanket. Since the contact between the fuel and oxygen is cut off, the fire can be controlled. One more thing is that it does not harm the electrical equipments also. So, carbon dioxide fire extinguisher can be used to solve the problems whenever electrical equipments and inflammable materials are on fire. The fire can be extinguished using carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. How do we get the supply of carbon dioxide? It can be stored at high pressure as a liquid in cylinders, like we have LPG stored in cylinders, isn't it? So LPG is stored in cylinders and supplied to houses. Likewise, even carbon dioxide is stored at high pressure as liquid in cylinders. So, when released from the cylinders, carbon dioxide expands in volume and cools down. So, it forms a blanket around the fire and also brings down the temperature of the fuel. That is why it is said carbon dioxide fire extinguisher is a excellent fire extinguisher. One more way of getting carbon dioxide is to release a lot of dry powder of chemicals like sodium bicarbonate, that is baking soda, or potassium bicarbonate. So, when we release these chemicals near the fire, these chemicals give off carbon dioxide. Hence, the fire can be extinguished or controlled. Let us study the types of combustion. There are three types of combustion: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. What is rapid combustion? You might have seen the gas burning rapidly and producing heat and light. Such combustion is said to be rapid combustion. What is spontaneous combustion? Here, the combustion is sudden. The material suddenly bursts into flames. You all have seen forest fires. It is an example for spontaneous combustion. Next type of combustion is explosion. When a cracker is ignited, a sudden reaction takes place with the evolution of heat, light, and sound. Here, a large amount of gas formed in the reaction is liberated. Such reaction is said to be explosion. It can also take place if pressure is applied on the cracker. Observe the color of an LPG flame and candle flame. It is different, right? LPG flame is slightly blue and candle flame is slightly yellowish in color. How are flames produced? The substances vaporize during burning and gives flames. For example, kerosene oil and molten wax rise through the wick and are vaporized during burning and forms flames. Whereas if you consider charcoal, it does not vaporize and so does not produce a flame. When the candle flame is steady, introduce a clean glass plate into the luminous zone of the flame. Hold it with a pair of tongs for about 10 seconds. So you can observe that a blackish ring is formed on the glass plate. This indicates the deposition of unburnt carbon particles present in the luminous zone of the flame. Again, hold a thin long copper wire just inside the non-luminous zone of flame for about 30 seconds. You will find that the portion of the copper wire just outside the flame gets red hot. This indicates that the non-luminous zone of the flame has a high temperature. So the non-luminous zone is the hottest part of the flame. You have to study the diagram of a flame. It has got different zones: outer zone, middle zone and innermost zone. So the outer zone is the hottest part and the middle zone is moderately hot and the innermost zone is the least hot region. What is a fuel? You all know that the sources of heat energy used for our domestic purposes and industrial purposes are mainly wood, charcoal, petrol, diesel, kerosene and so on. These substances are called as fuels. A fuel must be readily available. It must be cheap. It must burn easily in air at a moderate rate. And it has to produce large amount of heat. And it must not leave behind any undesirable substances. We can say that there is no fuel that could be considered as an ideal fuel. Ideal fuel means a fuel which on burning does not emit harmful gases. It is easy to transport and store. It is also of very low cost. An ideal fuel must have low ignition temperature. For example, we can take CNG, that is compressed natural gas. Fuels differ in their cost. Some fuels are cheaper and some are more expensive. Now, the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg of fuel is called calorific value. What is it? The amount of heat produced on complete combustion or burning of 1 kg of fuel is called its calorific value. And the calorific value of fuel is expressed in unit called kilojoule per kg. Burning of fuels leads to harmful products. So you all know burning of fuels leads to harmful products such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, which leads to other problems like global warming and acid rain in the environment. Carbon fuels like wood, coal, petroleum release unburnt carbon particles, and these unburnt carbon particles are very dangerous for the human beings. They cause respiratory diseases such as asthma. Incomplete combustion of fuels give carbon monoxide gas, and carbon monoxide gas is highly poisonous. If at all a person is locked in a room and coal is burnt in that room, that may lead to the death of that person who is locked in that particular room, because carbon monoxide gas released due to the burning of coal leads to the death of that person. Carbon monoxide is highly poisonous. Combustion of most fuels release carbon dioxide gas into the environment, and it leads to global warming. Increased concentration of carbon dioxide in air causes global warming. What do you mean by global warming? It is the rise in the temperature of the atmosphere of Earth. If at all the temperature of the Earth rises, it leads to polar glaciers melting, which leads to a rise in the sea level, causing floods in coastal areas, and low lying coastal areas may get permanently submerged under water. So, global warming is a serious problem. Burning of coal and diesel releases sulfur dioxide gas. Sulfur dioxide gas is suffocating and corrosive gas. Moreover, petrol engines give off gaseous oxides of nitrogen. So, oxides of sulfur and nitrogen dissolve in rainwater and forms acids. Such rain is called acid rain, and acid rain is also very harmful for crops. It can burn everything. It can damage the buildings, and it increases the acidity in the soil, so plants cannot grow properly.